Did you know that nearly 48 million Americans fall ill each year because of something as simple and as overlooked as the food in their kitchens? And more than 3,000 of those cases end in death. It's a shocking number. And here's the truth. Many of those people are older adults. You see, as we age, our immune systems naturally weaken. That's a normal part of growing older, but it also means that our bodies aren't as equipped to fight off harmful bacteria or toxins that younger people might handle more easily. Something that might just cause a stomachache for a 30-year-old could lead to hospitalization or worse for someone over 70. And here's the twist most people don't expect. The danger doesn't always come from eating out or mishandled meals. It often starts much closer to home inside your refrigerator. Yes, the very appliance we trust to protect our food could be quietly turning certain items into health hazards, especially for seniors. Not because the fridge itself is bad, but because we often don't realize which foods shouldn't be kept cold and which ones absolutely must be. A small habit like storing bananas in the fridge or leaving leftovers out too long can snowball into something serious. Think about your kitchen for a moment. Are there items in your fridge right now that maybe shouldn't be there? Have you ever given a second thought to where you store your onions? Or how long has that cooked chicken been sitting behind the milk? You're not alone. Most people were never taught these things because, frankly, food safety advice hasn't always kept up with the realities of aging bodies. But that changes today. In this video, we're going to walk through the most common mistakes people make with refrigerated foods, errors that can quietly chip away at your strength, energy, and well-being without you even noticing. And more importantly, I'll show you what to do instead. Because the goal isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. These are small shifts, simple habits that could save your health or even your life. And they don't start with fancy diets or expensive supplements, but with how you use your fridge. So if you're ready to take back control of your kitchen and protect the body that's carried you through so much, then stay with me. What you learn today could make all the difference. Now that we understand how small habits can have big health consequences, let's talk about something we all do often without thinking. Storing the wrong foods in the fridge. It sounds harmless, right? After all, the fridge is where we keep things safe. But here's the twist. Not everything belongs there. Some of the most common pantry staples, things we rely on every day, can become less healthy or even harmful when stored in cold temperatures. Let's explore 3 foods that should never go in your refrigerator, especially if you're over 60. 1. Peanut butter. A comfort food that turns against you in the cold peanut butter. Just hearing the name might bring back memories. A simple sandwich from your childhood. A quick bite after school. Or maybe now, it's your go-to when you need something filling, easy, and protein-rich. It's comfort in a jar. But here's something most people don't know. Putting peanut butter in the fridge is a mistake. Especially for seniors. You see, when you refrigerate peanut butter, the oils inside begin to harden. What was once creamy and spreadable becomes stiff, clumpy, and frustrating to use. And that may not sound like a big deal until you try spreading it with arthritis in your hands or with weaker grip strength. For those living with joint pain or reduced hand mobility, just making a sandwich can turn into a painful task. But it's not just about texture. Cold temperatures also affect the peanut butter's nutritional profile. Peanut butter contains heart-healthy, monounsaturated fats. Those are the fats that help balance cholesterol, protect blood vessels, and reduce inflammation. But when exposed to repeated chilling and warming, like moving it in and out of the fridge, these fats begin to oxidize. That means they break down, becoming less effective and potentially harmful over time. And that creamy spoonful you thought was nourishing your heart, it might now be contributing to the inflammation you're trying to avoid. Let's go even deeper. Peanut butter is also a source of vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that plays a major role in protecting your brain, supporting your skin, and helping your cells fight off damage. As we age, our need for antioxidants grows, especially to support memory and cognitive function. But when peanut butter is stored cold for too long, vitamin E slowly degrades. It doesn't change the taste much. You won't smell it. But silently, the food you trust to support your body is doing less and less for you. And then there's the emotional side of things, something we don't talk about enough. For many older adults, food is more than nutrition. It's routine, comfort, and independence. When peanut butter becomes a hassle to use or loses its flavor, it chips away at that daily joy. The fridge, in this case, isn't preserving your food. It's stealing a little piece of ease from your life. The fix is simple. Store your peanut butter in a cool, dry pantry. Keep it tightly sealed. It'll stay fresh, smooth, and ready to enjoy. No struggle, no nutrient loss, no compromise. 2. Onions. From kitchen hero to hidden hazard. Now, let's talk about another humble kitchen staple: onions. They're quiet workers. Not flashy, not the star of the show. But they're in everything from stews and stir-fries to soups and salads. And for many, they're part of what makes food feel home-cooked. But here's what most people don't realize. Storing onions in the refrigerator is one of the worst things you can do for their quality and your health. Why? Onions are meant to be stored in dry, cool, well-ventilated spaces. The refrigerator, on the other hand, is cold and moist. That moisture seeps through the papery skin, breaks down the outer layers, and before long, your onion turns soft, mushy, and moldy. That mold may not always be visible right away, but it's there. And for seniors, especially those with weakened immune systems or sensitive digestive tracts, that mold could mean real trouble. Storing cut or whole onions in damp containers invites bacterial growth. And the bacteria involved, like E. coli or Listeria, can easily spread to other items in your fridge without you knowing it. What's more, refrigeration doesn't just affect safety. It also affects nutrition. Onions contain quercetin, a natural compound known to reduce joint inflammation and protect heart health. But just like vitamin E in peanut butter, quercetin breaks down faster in the fridge. You lose the very benefit that makes onions so valuable in the first place. There's also an emotional side. Here too, just like with peanut butter. Ever opened your fridge and smelled something off? A sour, musty odor you just can't trace? Often, it's coming from onions that don't belong in that environment. That smell lingers, taints your trust in your kitchen, and turns meal prep into something less pleasant than it should be. Here's what to do instead. Keep whole onions in a mesh bag, basket, or open bowl. Place them in a dry cabinet, away from direct sunlight but with plenty of air. That's how they stay crisp, flavorful, and full of the goodness your body needs. 3. Bananas. Tropical fruit. Cold damage last, but certainly not least. Bananas. There's something deeply comforting about a banana. It's soft, sweet, and easy to eat. No cooking, no chewing struggles, no mess. That's why bananas often remain a favorite in later life, especially for seniors who want something simple, nourishing, and familiar. But here's the thing. Bananas are tropical fruits. That means they were never designed to handle cold temperatures. When you put a banana in the fridge, the chill shuts down its natural enzymes, the ones responsible for ripening. The outside peel darkens rapidly, but the inside? It turns rubbery, starchy, and often tasteless. A banana that looks ripe may actually feel underripe and unpleasant to eat. But this change is more than cosmetic. Bananas are rich in dopamine and catechins, two compounds that play a major role in brain function, emotional regulation, and reducing oxidative stress. These nutrients are incredibly important as we age. They help maintain clarity, improve mood, and protect against cognitive decline. But those same nutrients? They don't survive the cold. Once chilled, bananas begin to lose their antioxidants quickly and permanently. That means the fruit you were depending on to support your energy, focus, and emotional well-being becomes little more than a bland, mushy snack. There's another hidden risk too. If you refrigerate an overripe banana, moisture begins to build under the skin, especially near the stem. That can encourage mold growth, which again is a greater risk for seniors with sensitive digestion or immune concerns. So in trying to extend its shelf life, you may actually be losing what makes the banana worth eating in the first place. Solution? Keep it simple. Store bananas on your countertop. Let them breathe. Hang them on a hook if you have one. If they ripen faster than you can eat them, peel and freeze them for smoothies or baking. But don't let the fridge steal their strength. Final thoughts for this section. So far, we've looked at 3 everyday foods that many people refrigerate without thinking. Peanut butter, onions, and bananas. Each of them carries a quiet warning. Cold doesn't always mean safe. In fact, for seniors, it can mean just the opposite: hardened textures, lost nutrients, hidden bacteria, and emotional frustration. But the good news? Every single one of these mistakes is fixable. And the fix costs nothing. It's all about awareness and small adjustments. Because in these later years, every meal matters more. Every bite should help, not hinder your health. And every habit in your kitchen should reflect the care and wisdom you've earned over a lifetime. So, take a moment after this video. Peek into your fridge. Pull out that peanut butter. Check those onions. Move the bananas. And feel good, knowing you've just taken one more step toward protecting your body and mind, one shelf at a time. Pause this video now. Check your pantry. Are you storing onions in the fridge? Let's fix that today. Wait, but isn't cold always safer? Let's pause for just a moment. If you've been watching this and thinking, but I thought the fridge was the safest place for everything, you're not alone. In fact, that's one of the most common myths when it comes to food storage, and it's easy to see why. We're taught from a young age that cold keeps things fresh and safe. But here's the truth. Myth number 1. The fridge stops bacteria completely. Not quite. Cold temperatures slow down bacterial growth, but they don't stop it. Some bacteria, like Listeria, can still grow even at fridge temperatures. That's why leftovers and deli meats can still become dangerous if kept too long. Myth number 2. If it smells fine, it's safe to eat. Unfortunately, many harmful bacteria don't change the smell, taste, or look of food, especially for older adults with weakened immune systems. That harmless food could cause serious issues. Myth number 3. All food lasts longer in the fridge. Actually, some foods like bananas, onions, or even bread can go bad faster when kept cold. The texture changes. The nutrients degrade. And in some cases, mold or toxins develop more quickly because of trapped moisture. Here's the takeaway. The fridge is a helpful tool, but only if we use it wisely. Knowing what should and shouldn't be refrigerated is one of the simplest ways to protect your health, energy, and independence. Ready to learn which foods must be kept cold to stay safe? Let's dive into part 2. In the last section, we explored the foods that shouldn't be stored in your fridge. And maybe some of those surprised you, like peanut butter or bananas. But just as there are items that suffer in the cold, there are others that absolutely rely on refrigeration to stay safe and nutritious, especially for older adults. Today, we're focusing on 3 common food groups that need to stay cold, or else they could quietly turn dangerous. And not just unpleasant to eat, dangerous to your health. Let's talk about what they are, what can go wrong if they're mishandled, and the simple steps you can take to keep your food and your body protected. 1. Cooked meats and leftovers, the silent bacteria traplet. Let's start with something that lives in just about every fridge in America: leftovers. Whether it's a roast from Sunday dinner, a plate of chicken from last night, or soup you plan to reheat tomorrow, leftovers are a gift of convenience. For many older adults, they also represent freedom. Cooking once and enjoying multiple meals means less strain, more independence, and a way to stretch both time and budget. But there's a hidden risk here that's often overlooked: time. Once cooked food begins to cool, bacteria like Listeria, Clostridium perfringens, and Salmonella start multiplying. These bacteria don't need much time or any visible sign to become a threat. What's especially concerning is that this growth begins within just 2 hours at room temperature. And the real problem? You can't see, smell, or taste the danger. That piece of chicken might look fine. It might smell okay. But beneath the surface, there could be millions of invisible threats multiplying every hour it sits unrefrigerated. Now, here's where it gets more serious for seniors. Younger people might just feel off or get a mild upset stomach. But older adults often experience subtle, misleading symptoms: confusion, lightheadedness, low-grade fever. It may not even feel like food poisoning at first thought, and that delay in recognizing symptoms can turn a minor issue into a major one, leading to hospitalizations, severe dehydration, and in some tragic cases, worse thought. So how can you protect yourself? Here's what to do. Refrigerate cooked meats and leftovers within 2 hours, or within 1 hour if the room is warm, above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, closing parenthesis. Store them in sealed, airtight containers to prevent cross-contamination. Label and date everything. Most leftovers should be eaten within 3 to 4 days. And when in doubt, throw it out. Don't risk it just to avoid waste. Your health is worth far more than a few bites of old food. 2. Dairy products. Creamy, comforting, and quick to spoil. Next, let's talk about something most of us grew up with: milk, cheese, yogurt. For many, a cold glass of milk or a piece of cheddar brings back warm memories. Dairy is a part of daily comfort, and for older adults, it's often included in routines to support calcium intake, digestion, and bone strength. But here's the thing about dairy: it's incredibly sensitive to temperature. These foods are rich in proteins, fats, calcium, and vitamins like B12 and D. And while that makes them nutritious, it also makes them a perfect breeding ground for bacteria if not kept cold enough. Many people assume if dairy is left out just for a bit, it's no big deal. But in reality, even a few hours on the counter can be enough for bacterial levels to rise dangerously, especially in soft cheeses and milk. And once again, seniors face unique risks. As we age, our stomach acid becomes less acidic and our immune systems are slower to respond. That means your body may not be able to fight off even low levels of contamination as easily. What might cause minor discomfort in a 25-year-old can lead to serious gastrointestinal distress for someone older. Let's take a look at what that might feel like: sudden bloating or cramps after dairy joint flare-ups from inflammatory responses, ongoing fatigue or dehydration due to vomiting or diarrhea, and the tough part: these symptoms can also be confused with other common age-related issues, so it's not always clear that spoiled dairy is the cause. So here's how to stay safe. Always refrigerate dairy immediately after use. Keep your fridge at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius. A thermometer can help you double-check. Store dairy in sealed containers, and never return poured-out milk or yogurt back into the container. Respect expiration dates, especially for soft cheeses and yogurt. If it smells off, or even slightly sour before it's due to expire, don't eat it. Dairy can still be a safe, delicious part of your diet. but it requires vigilance. And that care becomes even more important as your body becomes more sensitive to small changes. 3. Leafy greens. Fragile nutritional powerhouses now let us talk about something that seems gentle and harmless: leafy greens like spinach, kale, romaine, and arugula. They might look delicate, but they're some of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat. Just a handful of fresh spinach can support memory, circulation, and bone strength. Kale is packed with vitamin K, crucial for calcium absorption. And many greens contain folate and lutein, both of which protect the brain and eyes. But here's the problem. They're also incredibly fragile. Leafy greens begin to wilt and lose nutrients almost immediately when left out of cold storage. At room temperature, even for just a few hours, they start to degrade. The texture changes, the color dulls, and most importantly, the nutritional content begins to disappear. Now, for seniors trying to protect cognitive health, maintain energy, or manage conditions like osteoporosis or high blood pressure, this loss matters. Worse still, wilted greens don't just lose value, they become a magnet for harmful bacteria. Moisture builds in creases and folds. If the leaves are stored in plastic without proper airflow, pathogens like E. coli and listeria can take hold even before visible signs of spoilage appear, and these bacteria have been tied to major outbreaks of illness, often affecting older adults the most. What's the best way to store them? First, don't wash them until you're ready to use them. Excess moisture accelerates spoilage. Line a storage container or produce bag with a paper towel to absorb moisture. Place them in the crisper drawer of your refrigerator, where humidity is controlled. If you buy pre-washed greens, keep them in their original breathable packaging and consume within a few days. Leafy greens offer a powerful boost to senior health, but only when they're handled with care. A quick recap and why it matters. Let's review the essentials. Food group, why it needs to stay cold. Safe practices: cooked meats and leftovers. Bacteria grow within 2 hours at room temp. Refrigerate fast. Eat within 3 to 4 days. Label and seal dairy products rich in nutrients, but spoil fast and invisibly. Keep fridge under 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Store airtight. Obey expiry dates. Leafy greens nutrient loss and bacterial risk when warm. Store in crisper drawer. Dry with paper towel. Don't pre-wash. These aren't just storage tips. They're daily habits that protect your independence, your clarity, and your well-being. Because when your fridge works with you, not against you, it becomes a powerful ally in your journey toward healthy aging. Final message. From one senior to another, we all make little choices every day. Most of them feel small. But over time, those choices, like where we store our food, can shape how we feel, how we heal, and how we live. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. About honoring the body you've lived in all these years. About taking the small steps today that protect your strength, your memory, and your joy tomorrow. So after this video, I encourage you, open your fridge. Look at what's there. Check your leftovers. Scan your dairy. Gently rearrange your leafy greens. It won't take long, but the peace of mind you'll gain, that last dot. And if you found this helpful, please consider sharing it with someone you care about. These lessons may seem simple, but sometimes it's the small truths that protect the most precious things. Now that we've walked through what should and shouldn't go in your fridge, let's take a moment to reflect. Most of us never give much thought to how we store our food. We do what we've always done, what we saw our parents do. What feels easy or familiar. But here's the truth. These small habits in the kitchen can quietly shape your health in powerful ways, especially as you age. Something as simple as putting a banana in the fridge or leaving cooked meat out too long can affect more than just taste. It can impact your digestion, your immune system, even how well your medications work. And that's not an exaggeration. Our bodies change as we grow older, and the way we treat our food needs to change too. But here's the most important part of this message. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. You don't need to throw out everything or follow a complicated system. You just need to make a few gentle adjustments that protect your body and help you feel your best. Maybe that means labeling your leftovers with a date. Maybe it means keeping your leafy greens in the crisper drawer. Maybe it's as simple as taping a short list on the fridge door of foods to never refrigerate. These are small steps, but they add up. They build confidence. They give you more control. And they help you care for your health in a way that feels practical and empowering, not overwhelming. And here's another thought. This knowledge isn't just for you. It's something you can share with a neighbor, a friend, a family member. Sometimes one simple tip can prevent an illness, avoid discomfort, or even save a life. That's the ripple effect of awareness. So if this video helped you pause, think, and maybe reconsider a few things in your kitchen, then you've already taken the most important step, because it's never too late to make a change. Never too late to protect your energy, your clarity, and your quality of life. Your body has carried you through a lot. And every small action you take now is a way of saying, I'm still listening, I'm still learning, and I'm still worth taking care of. So go ahead, reorganize that shelf, check those dates, and share what you've learned. Your fridge can become one of your strongest allies for healthy aging. And you are more capable than you think. Optional CTA to add at the end. If this video helped, give it a thumbs up. Share your favorite tip in the comments. Subscribe for more health wisdom made just for you, and pass it on to someone who could use a little care today.